At this point, we all know that Blizzard are just a bunch of clankers in disguise. They only give people in desperate need of help AI response. So, you know what? I actually found this video. I watched the first minute. It seems pretty interesting, so I want to see how it unfolds.
You've got to be kidding me. Blizzard's customer service has reached an all-new level of cooked in 2026.
Really?
You've got support reps sprinkling magic dust on refund requests, a game master threatening to ban someone for saying the F word.
Oh, we saw
and a
that.
returning player getting told too bad after a bug completely bricks her questline. Meanwhile, the 12.0.5
base. Holy man, Blizzard truly stopped giving a damn. That's crazy, man. They're evolving. At this point, they're not even trying to obfuscate. They're just letting it raw.
patch drops, and the
I can
game
respect
is
that.
falling apart. Broken classes, constant disconnects, and dominant specs running rampant in PvP. And what does Blizzard do? They issue
Nothing.
a vague apology and tell everyone they're taking lessons. But we've been here
course.
before. How did one of the biggest gaming companies in the world let their customer service get this bad? That's exactly what we're going to cover today, along with the bigger, much darker trend that's been happening for years. All right, let's start with the one that broke the internet. The now legendary Coffee Boy ticket. This guy saw a boost on sale in the in-game shop. He buys it, but then he gets charged full price because the sale had apparently already ended.
Classic. My man got swindled on a character boost. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know what? If you're actually purchasing character boost, I think you kind of earned that.
It just didn't say that on the client. Pretty standard mix-up, right? So he opens the ticket asking for a partial refund. Hi there, esteemed traveler.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure asking Blizzard to give you your money back is literally the worst thing you can do in your life.
oh my goodness, I can totally feel the weight of your heart.
What?
Now, let me sprinkle some magic dust on the situation. Are you fucking kidding me? Unfortunately, we weren't able to adjust pricing now since the sale has already ended. I even checked with my supervisor, waving my magic wand hoping for a miracle, but we simply just...
No way that's real. That's gotta be AI generated by this person that's farming like rage bait. No way that's real. Hey there, esteemed adventurer. Oh my goodness, I can totally feel the weight of your heart? No way, that's gotta be fake. I don't think that's real. If that's real, I'm revolting. I'm not even joking. What is that? The weight of your heart and the frustration bubbling inside you? No, that's gotta be fake. That's gotta be fake. I don't believe that.
don't have the tools at hand to make those requested changes. This one is just straight
No way.
ludicrous. Because if you're the manager looking at this situation, do you want to generate $40 of revenue? Or do you want a pissed off customer to do a $60 chargeback on your revenue? And cost
No, the pissed off customer is just going to take it up the butt and continue with his day. And he's going to continue paying for subscription. Blizzard knows that. You know that. I know it. And nothing will ever change.
Coffee Boy wasn't having it either. In his Reddit post, he said, I get the policy, but if your client won't update the sales times, and then you give me this cutesy, clearly AI written mess, it's just so insulting.
Yeah, I knew it was AI. I knew it was AI. It wasn't, I don't think it's fake. Like, now I don't think it's really fake, but it's clearly AI made. It's clearly an AI response. No way a human being would actually be that cringe.
He even followed up by saying that he's been loyal for 15 plus years.
Loyal,
and this
yeah.
might be the final straw. And unfortunately, he ended up requesting a full refund while threatening a chargeback. So Blizzard doubled down and hit his account with a warning for not liking their answer. The fact that Blizzard couldn't
What?
come out on the right side of this one is honestly just ridiculous.
Wait, you can do that? You can give players a warning for not liking your answers? What is that? What are they tone police? Man, they're first starting with like the profanity filter, not doing anything, banning people for saying the F word, and now they're trying to give you warnings for not liking their answers, which were clearly made by AI? Dog. Like, we're on the cusp of some serious human battery farming. I'm not even gonna lie, like, Blizzard soon are going to hire at massive rates, and it's just going to farm their employees as batteries for AI. It's just going to be that.
But this didn't just blow up because of its ridiculousness. It blew up because a lot of other players have had a similar experience. And don't worry, because that's not the only example of incompetence that we're going to be looking at today.
Of course,
Enter
it's Blizzard.
PJ.
You're plenty.
No, not me. I am CJ. Just days ago, a player named Cody got into it with Blizzard's customer service on X.
Oh, we watched that.
After some back and forth, PJ from Blizzard CS decides to respond like this. I just looked at the logs, Cody, and you seem to have a fondness for dropping F-bombs. Even one, if reported, is enough. In World of Warcraft, a game with mass genocides and tons of war crimes.
No, it's the game now with the Dark Spear Rainbow Troll Dash event. It's not the game that you used to know and love. It's not the Warcraft Foundations, which were about savagery, barbarism, all of the tribal conflict, and like the peak manly stuff. No, it's not even that anymore. It's just rainbows and unicorns. And you know why? Because we let wine moms and labubu millennials take over. The people who are currently writing the stories has probably 20 different mental illnesses. They're incapable of writing a good story because they lived a sheltered lives. They didn't experience any adversity whatsoever, and now they feel bad about it, so they have to make it seem like they had it rough through life because their daddy didn't let them buy another Funko Pop. And now you and I suffer for it. Isn't that great? Isn't that lovely? Yeah. That is the future. Well, until 20 years will pass by and the Cocomelon babies will write our stories, that would be a hoot.
You can't say fuck. Even their own dialogue within the game uses words like this.
What difference is there between you and the Lich King now?
Isn't it obvious, War Chief? I serve the Horde.
He's gonna say the line.
Clever mouth, bitch.
I knew
But
it.
hey, I guess after all of
I knew
that,
it.
dropping even just one F-bomb is enough for a suspension. The community instantly dragged PJ. Comments poured in like, what a fucking joke. And seriously? And people started questioning why there's even a mature language filter if Blizzard themselves can't handle it and push back on snowflakes to tell them to use it. Commenters started doubling down with the fact that you actually have to go into your settings and disable the mature language filter because it's on by default. And shortly after, Blizzard eventually had to jump in with damage control. Another rep named Cal posted a statement trying to calm things down, saying context matters and they'd review their policies. But by then, the damage was done and the post had over 1 million views. A lot of people called PJ smug, and some of them even started comparing it to the old days when game masters actually had personality instead of these power-tripping corporate droids. This whole situation lit a fire because it showed two big problems at once. Support reps are getting snappy and unprofessional under pressure, and the
It's not even that. It's just you gave literal narcissists that for the most part are just nepo baby losers that did nothing with their lives power. And you should never let these type of people consolidate power. These people should always be rebuked, admonished, and repudiated at every single turn because they are reprehensible. You shouldn't give them any power. You shouldn't give them any influence. All they should do is be like literally just the normal grunt day, like the working average Joe, and that's it. Literally that's it. They shouldn't have a say in anything because once you give them power, they will immediately silence you. And it's so crazy because whenever a normal person is in charge, everyone gets to speak, but whenever they are in charge, you never get to. It feels like one side silencing the other. And as a true advocate for freedom of speech, I will always go against that. And that's why I constantly speak against Blizzard. I'm not going to spoil you guys. I guess he's going to show the response that talk about the freedom of speech, because I've already kind of watched the tweet he's talking about. So I'm not going to get into it right now. Let's see if he talks about that. Yeah, our games will have half a screen showing some GTA mod vid on the top. Yeah, you're gonna be addicted to like every single app imaginable like on your screen taken over, and you will have like this tiny circle talking about an actual content. Truly, the way we consume media is going to be fantastic. It's going to be glorious. I haven't been a customer service rep. Sadly, they are seen as bottom of the totems, especially since CS doesn't make company money. I know, and they cover up for AI. Like, listen, I understand that QA team. Like, I learned QA. I know QA are the bottom of the barrel too. So I do understand why these people are getting cut first, and they have no real influence whatsoever, no real payment. I get it. But these people are important because you see what happens to Blizzard whenever they're gone. Patches are being delivered haphazardly with insane command bugs. Like, you literally get a command prompt during a raid, and that bug was known during PDR, and it's still shipped to live game. Why? Because you have no QA team. And now players are slowly starting to build up frustration because they're getting no answers. They're getting AI chat GPT response being sent to them. Ooh, type cringe too, to add insult to injury. And they're mad because they're not getting their money back, even though they clearly, like, Blizzard clearly made a mistake. They're not getting their money back, so now they're not gonna get any money at all because this person is more than likely to cancel his subscription. Now, that being said, WoW players are addicts, so, maybe he wouldn't, but in my heart, I really hope he will. But slowly it builds frustration, and eventually this, bubble will burst 100%.
Rules feel inconsistently applied, especially when it's Blizzard employees versus regular players. And that's mostly because the terms of service and code of conduct are extremely vaguely written, which means that they can be enforced however the CS rep wants to interpret it. And while players were clashing with...
And it's by design, by the way. It's the same with Twitch TOS. There's a reason why they always give room for leniency, is because they want to give that leniency to the people they like and the people they agree with. And the people they want to cater to, pander, and, of course, elevate over others. It's the exact same way with Twitch.
Support reps on X, Midnight...
And by the way, that's why I stream exclusively on YouTube, and I'm not even going to Twitch, because I know I'm going to be banned after 10 minutes of streaming. Even though I'm not saying anything against TOS, I'm not even swearing, because I'm trying to get it through the YouTube filters. I'm not swearing, I'm not doing anything, but just the fact that I speak for freedom of speech and openly, and I, invite open discussion, that alone can get me banned there.
WoW itself was falling apart with the 12.0.5 patch. But before we get into that, let's just remember how things used to be. Back in the golden days of World of Warcraft, customer service wasn't just a ticket system. It was a legendary team of fellow nerds that cared about the game just as much as you did. There's this great story that Jeff Kaplan told on the Lex Friedman podcast. He talked about game masters in the office dealing with players that were abusing a major bug in Stranglethorn Vale. The GMs got so fed up that they started spawning auto kill mobs all over the place to deal with the players. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, they called Jeff, who was literally sleeping right next to his wife, frantically asking him what they should do. Jeff got out of bed, went full battle mode, and implemented a solution. And he was happy to do it. That's the kind of passion that we've been missing at Blizzard for years. And it wasn't just Jeff. Back then, almost everybody had incredible stories with in-game game masters. These weren't outsourced reps reading from a script. These were people who actually played the game. They could appear right next to you in the world, they understood the issues because they lived them, and they had real power to fix things on the spot. Whether it was helping with a bugged quest, recovering a hacked account, or just adding some fun flavor to the experience, old school Blizzard GMs felt like they were on your side. And unfortunately, that version of customer service is just dead. Fast forward.
Unfortunately, I never got to experience that. I only started playing World of Warcraft during Warlords of Draenor. I was completely screwed. So, if anyone can vouch for that, if some of y'all are true WoW OGs, make sure to let me know.
Forward to today, and retail WoW is dealing with one of the buggiest patches it's ever had. Blizzard themselves even had to come out and say the quiet part out loud. In their official statement, they admitted the 12.0.5 patch launch was not up to our standards, and we know that this disrupted your time and caused justified frustration. The replies...
Mind you, Blizzard standards are pretty low, so imagine how bad a patch truly was. That's crazy. To not even stand to the lowest bar that is Blizzard standards. Wow, that's gotta be bad.
Were brutal. Players were calling it gaslighting and pointing out that these same lessons should have been learned years ago. And big names in the community were sounding the alarm too. Tally posted this absolute rant after one of his worst raiding nights in years. These patches are untested. I think it's about time Blizzard starts giving the player base incentive to log into the PTR. You need to balance between content and quality. Adelano summed it up
You need to pay QA testers. It's honestly like not that difficult. It's not that complex. You don't need another HR departments filled with Karens that will just ban more players for no good reason. Or ban players, sorry, like ban employees for no good reason. And actually keep the milk drinkers all around. No, you actually need a competent QA team and every single problem will be solved. And this is a multi-billion-dollar company we're talking about. It's not like a small indie company that I can glance over and be like, okay, they have to cut some costs. I understand, right? I get it. But it's a Blizzard we're talking about. You don't need to cut any corners. You literally have the money to do so.
perfectly. Patch 12.0.5 is a prime example that they're making content too fast. This patch should have never been released in this state. Everything is broken, bugged, or disabled. And on the PvP side, Sea-Doo was calling out the horrible balance, especially the insane strength of marksman hunters and how rogue mage comps were dominating in high-rated games. If you don't play retail WoW, that's okay. But basically what we're talking about is a world riddled with constant disconnects, broken class abilities, bonus roll issues, housing bugs, and a PvP meta that consisted of 4 classes. The bugs across the game were so bad that full-on features like player housing had to be completely disabled until the developers were able to deploy a fix. All of this after Ian Hazzikostas promised that we'd get fast content with no corners cut and no sacrifices to quality. No, seriously, take a look at this interview that Ian did a couple months ago. Midnight will be the fastest expansion we've ever made in terms of the gap between expansions. We've had regular 8-week content updates all along the way. No corners cut, no compromises in terms of what we're delivering, and no sacrifices to quality. He even went on to talk about how they protected their team's mental health and avoided the crunch, saying all of this was being done to be smarter. Instead, players got the opposite. And when they tried to get help through support, we already saw how that went. Imagine saying all of this literal months before you release the buggiest patch of the last 20 years. This is why players are so fed up. It feels like this company is completely disconnected from what's actually happening in this game. And it's
No, I think they're just comparing themselves to Shadowlands. I think they're literally looking at this and they're like, hey, you know what? Thank God it's not Shadowlands. Like, you should literally thank God every day Midnight is better than Shadowlands and there's no jailer anymore. That's how they do it. It's like, oh, don't worry, we're actually making it big. You're gonna enjoy this consistent cycle, no cut corners compared to Shadowlands. It's like, it's in the small writing. You just didn't see that. It's like, always read the fine print, always.
It's not just big streamers and high-end players who are getting screwed. Take Sarah's story, for example.
And by the way, you know it's bad when he's talking about retail and showing classic gameplay. Like, dude couldn't even be bothered playing retail and recording B-roll footage for it. Like, I understand. I truly do.
She decided to come back to WoW, resubbed, and immediately hit a bugged quest that completely blocked an entire quest line. She put in a ticket and basically just got told, too bad. Support offered zero help. No GM intervention, no workaround, just a dead quest line. I'm not even sure if her issue's been resolved at this point, but the one thing I want to point out is that in order to actually get her ticket escalated to the right person, she had to post on X. And that's the trend I hope you noticed throughout this entire video. All of these issues got escalated to social media because the players couldn't actually get them handled through the normal ticketing system due to Blizzard's AI slop.
Perfect. Always out them. Always out them. Always make them go into the light. Like, they are absolute... okay, oh my god, there's so many things I want to say, but I can't, okay? Guys, like, they're so disgusting and malicious. They're like vampires. You need to push them into the sun. I'm glad people are doing this. I'm glad that people are airing the dirty laundry outside. Absolutely. I'm rooting for that. Huge W from the players. Always call out Blizzard publicly. Never give them a single day of rest. That's why I do what I do. Now you understand. Kudos to them.
Your ticket responses used to have a GM signature, but now they come back blank. And that's because the ticket wasn't actually assigned to a rep. It got handled by AI. Blizzard has not only limited their customer service reps' abilities to help their players, but they've also created confines that their AI operates in. And when your ticket goes outside of those parameters, your ticket is just kicked back with no solution, and you're effectively told to suck it. Back in the day, CS reps would get so panicked that they'd have to call a higher up and go, what do we do? Today, those higher ups say, fuck off. And honestly, get used to it, because this is Blizzard's customer service in 2026, and it's not changing. Getting reported by the community is the only way to get banned, because Blizzard downsized their staff and insisted the community police each other. Surely that won't lead
Blizzard
down.
Penalized gamer who named his character J Defense after was mass reported by other players. The fact that he was even mass reported just goes to show the quality of players in retail WoW nowadays. They are claiming it violated vulgarity and hate speech code of conduct. And wait, Blizzard actually capitulated to their demands? I bet if it said Biden it would be fine. What? Oh yeah, they forced him to change his gamer tag? No, yeah, the nickname is inappropriate, name multiple times. Yeah, they just gave him the AI response to change her name. That's crazy. Wow, that's absolutely crazy. I actually don't believe they did that. I mean, listen, it's one thing to have, like, a name that actually hurts the conduct and it's kind of hilarious and, you know, it's in that middle zone of edgy and funny, and you can kind of look at this and be, okay, maybe sure, they're right. But literally, like, just for that name alone, you're gonna force him to change his nickname? That's the dumbest thing in the world. I've seen so many people with much worse. And, like, if you named yourself Furry Lover 69, I bet that would have been fine by them. But no, you can't even name yourself like JD Vance. It's so stupid.
Downsized their staff and insisted the community police each other. Surely that won't lead to players colluding together to mass report players that they don't like, right? Yeah, that definitely won't happen. Now, that's basically all I've got for this video, but I want to hear about your worst Blizzard customer service experience down below in the comments.
Blizzard existing. That is the worst customer service I've ever experienced in my entire life. Yeah, great video. First video I watched from this guy. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Obviously, you guys should watch him. Give him a like. This was a fantastic video. And I pretty much said all that I had to. Honestly, it's getting kind of tiresome. At this point, you just see for yourself. Blizzard is beyond redemption. And I used a quote from it. Like, who know? If you know, you know. If you played Pandaria. But it is what it is, man. They're not going to change, and that's why I'm so glad that people are taking it to Twitter right now to make sure that Blizzard is being kept on their toes at every single moment.